Hello there Simmers, welcome back to my channel. It's Joy's Creative Finger, and today this is a request for a fellow simmer, Barbie Figueroa, who asked me to build a company. So it's a city office type of building, and it was quite an interesting build. It's on 4 floors, and straight away I went on to place a signage in the front of the building, which is important for any kind of company. It depicts what the business is about and gives the building some kind of edge. I placed some lights around it as well. I didn't have to glitch that signage. You just place it on the outside on a balcony and it would stick. As you can see, the rooftop is very unusual, very uneven. You would expect that in high-rise buildings. You've got a lot of vents, a lot of fans, and all kinds of wiring all lead up to the top part of the property. It makes it very uneven and very unsafe. In a way, you'd have to imagine James Bond scaling across and diving under and, running away or running towards an assailant. So that's the kind of rooftop that it would be. I wanted to make sure that it was not anything close to a residential property type of standard. So this is what I was able to come up with. The entrance to this company or these offices is pretty standard. There are some glass doors set back, and then when you go through those double doors, it takes you into a large reception, which is the standard in any company. You're greeted by a receptionist, and behind her here I've placed a screen that should presumably detail what the company is about and showcase any of the products that they might be trading in. She would be responsible for this entire space and welcome anyone who comes through these doors. Now we have someone sitting down waiting presumably for an interview, so she would alert a member of staff who would come around and take him in through this little corridor into a meeting room. It's also a smaller boardroom. We have a large one and we'll look at that in a minute. She would then serve tea and coffee to these boardrooms from this little kitchen over here. It's also a staff kitchen as well. They would keep their lunches in there too. Behind the receptionist space is a large boardroom with 2 sets of glass doors leading into it on the left and on the right. We have a very large boardroom, as you can see. Teas and coffees are already served. It's a prominent space for a lot of company meetings to hold in. And I've decided to place this, it's an MP3 player, I think it is, but I'm calling it a remote control for a large TV that would be in those units. Now that wide screen would be where meetings could be held with international partners. So if they couldn't attend in person, they would speak to the people in the board meeting through that screen. Now out that door, as you can see from the boardroom, brings us back out to the reception, and we have the doors that lead upstairs. There's a security entrance system here, behind and in front. I would assume that they are connected, and you'd have to flash a staff pass to be able to get in. The corridor leads past this staircase and elevator back to the restrooms, as you can see here. The restroom will be used by the receptionist, members of the boardroom, and maybe some guests. But before you get through to the restrooms, around the bend here, we have a door leading to a space behind the elevator and the staircase. It's the stationery room. The receptionist would stock it with printing paper, staplers, all kinds of office supplies would be in this little room here. Now I have a staircase as well as the elevator, as you can see, going up. That's important for fire code. If in the event of a fire you can't use the elevator, you have to use the stairs. So here is an overview for you of the ground floor, and now we're going to go up to the next floor where we have staff working. Now we have another door through which you need to have some kind of security pass to come in, and we have this big room where we have a lot of people getting to work. These computer tables were my choice. I like the fact that they've got fax machines on them or printers, lots of computer screens, and obviously I've put some television screens in the middle here. It sort of represents screens that they would be looking at and monitoring to see how their products were doing in the market. They would be selling items, they would be tracking items, and so on and so forth. Now I have a room in a corner here. It would be like a cloakroom for them in some way, and a little sort of coffee break room as well. And over in the corner is my idea of a fax machine, a photocopier, and other, office equipment. It would be preferred if we had this very item here, this photocopier standing on its own, but it comes with a desk, so it has to be out here. So that's what we have in that room. Through this corridor we take a left and round through to another set of offices on the left and on the right. This would be my accounts room. I have some units here for more stationery supplies for the offices up here, so they don't have to go all the way downstairs. And I have some desks without computers on them for paperwork as required. In Sims FreePlay we don't have phones on desks, so I've had to place them on the wall. So in this world they have to get up and use the phone. Across the way from that office is the big boss's office. It's a little bit more grander. We have a lovely couch here, some teas and coffees already served up, a lovely lamp or two, some decorative items in here. We've got accreditions on the wall. I have a radio for him. He might want to listen to some music, and some awards. He also has a fish tank and a really nice potted plant. So it's a really nice office. Yes, he is the boss who would really be particular about what other people have, but be quite content with what he has. He would occasionally harass this staff member for having a personal heating by her side, and she would then report back and say, well, the temperatures in the office were not ideal, and it would be that little office drama in the space, back and forth, as is the case in the workplace occasionally. Before we go upstairs, here is an overview for you of this office, a large office, an accounts office, and the boss's office, isolated by corridors. Now when we take this staircase upstairs, we come through to the staff canteen. It's a space where they would come and eat their food at lunchtime. So this would be for maybe an hour or 45 minutes. There's a seating area at this corner here. They could lounge around, chat for a while, eat their sandwiches, or they could come through these double doors into an intentional dining space, sit upright and have a proper meal. It's a beautiful space that's catered for by a salad bar out here, and the lady would grill fresh pieces of chicken and other kinds of bits and bobs. They could also sit outside on the balcony, and she would be responsible basically for feeding the members of staff who patronize her, as the case may be, in this space. She would open up and close up, say from the hours of 12 noon until 3 o'clock, and then she'd be gone. I have a pea cleaner machine in the front of the restrooms here for the men and for the women. These restrooms are separated by a little corridor here, so that they are actually apart from each other, and outside you can see the windows are appropriate. And then there is a space on the side of the cubicles, because I was intent on placing glass windows on the body of the building, covering up as much as I can, so there is privacy for those cubicles. Now we can take the staircase up to the rooftop. It's actually a covered staircase, that's why there's a roof above it. We have some rusty, dirty doors that lead upstairs to another seating area. We have the boiler connected at the top here, and the weather machine that would presumably control the hot and cold in the office. So there would be a lot of tinkering here. Maybe the boss should send someone to sort that out so the lady doesn't have to have a personal heating. And then on this corner here we have some seating for staff to actually come up and hang out. There is a basketball hoop here in case they wanted to, shoot some hoops, but mostly staff who come up here are antisocial, and they would like to smoke up here and gossip. They would obviously be operating against the policy in the office, that is no smoking. Now we have some lights on that balcony, and there's no access to them. We have the signage as we saw before, and some more lights on the other end at this balcony here with no access. A little thing about the cafe or canteen downstairs, they are open doors which shut down like garage doors. When she's done at the end of the day, she would shut them down. So it's an outdoor indoor space for dining for the staff. Thanks again to Barbie Figueroa, who asked me to build a company. I absolutely love the challenge and I love the building. I never had a business sort of building in my town, so I'm keeping this one forever. And it's something that I really like and it's very unique. Thanks again. If you have any questions about certain styles and certain adjustments that could be made, do leave a comment. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and good luck with the country homestead event, where we're using the woodworking bench to acquire some more pieces of furniture. I look forward to building something with that. Interestingly, I've already acquired some of the pieces of furniture and they don't look very country to me, but I just can't wait. I'm going to do something with it. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye.